What is up, guys? Today, I'll be doing a tier list of the mainline Pokemon games, because I don't think I've done this yet, somehow. Okay, we'll start with Gen 1, like Gen 1. Uh, you have to respect it for being the first game, but like at the end of the day, I would rather play any other game aside from the base Gen 1 games, especially when the remakes exist. But like, okay, I get people's point of like, well, this is the original game, and then the remake, like, it already has a foundation to work off of, so of course it's going to be better. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. The mainline games are going to be rated off of their content, and then the remakes, so like Fire Red and Leaf Green, for example, they're going to be rated based on how much they added, as opposed to if they're actually as good or better as the games, if that makes sense. That'll especially be prevalent for BDSP, but for this game, I think a B, like right in the middle, is fair. And then wherever blue is, same thing. Yellow is just red and blue, but better. But like, it's still just, I think it has to go on the same tier, because like it's not even like a Diamond Pearl Platinum like thing. Like, it's not that much better. So, okay. Gold, silver, and crystal next. I don't even know where silver's at. Oh, here it is. No, that's soul silver. Yeah, I don't even see the base silver on here, but oh yeah, here it is. Gold and silver. I think they're better than Gen 1. I think A is... Nah. No. B still. Not hard gold. Regular gold. Crystal is just gold and silver better, obviously. I've never played Coliseum or XD. Unfortunately, I'm sure they're great games. I've heard they are. But I never had the systems to play them. Goal. Here we go. Okay, next we have Gen 3. I've played like the base Gen 1 and 2 games, but I've never played the base Gen 3 games because I've never owned a Game Boy Advance. But, I mean, I have to respect Emerald. I'll put it in A, and then I'll put Ruby and Sapphire in B, I think. Where's Sapphire? What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Okay, Gen 4. Gen 4 is A tier. I didn't think the games got better as they went on. I don't know if that's the case now, but, like, for the first generations, it definitely was. I think Diamond, Pearl, Platinum are all A. Platinum is best. And I think Emerald's better than Diamond and Pearl. Okay, we should do Fire Red Leaf Green, because that came out before Diamond and Pearl. In terms of what Fire Red Leaf Green added, I mean, it's a fucking good remake. I think A is fair. It's a good remake. Okay, next is Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Fucking awesome remake. I still don't think it... Is it S? Is it S? No, I'm sorry, it's not. It's because I don't have the nostalgia with it, but I could totally see why you think it was S if you have the nostalgia. But I definitely do really respect the game. Gen 5, though. I'm sorry. Gen 5 was my first gen. Not that I played, actually, but just the first gen that I was overall engulfed in with the anime. I know the Gen 5 anime is not the best, but even just the games and stuff. Black 2 and White 2 are obviously better than the first ones. But I mean, I love Gen 5. I'm sorry. But Gen 6, though, I know that this is where I'm going to get some dislikes. I think it's also S tier. Now, like, it's tricky because I kind of feel like it's my favorite game, but I also think that Gen 5 is better, because I do have to admit that Gen 6 has some very big faults in its story that I really wish were expanded. Like, my problem with Gen 6 is I really love the world that it established, but the game just got massacred by not having Z, and that's why I'm so excited for ZA to finally do Call us Justice. I think ZA will definitely be probably the best game in the franchise, especially if they're willing to take all this time off to actually develop the game properly, not like Scarlet and Violet, which we will get to. But yeah, I think taking a break is definitely the right call. Or not even taking a break, but just taking more time to develop the game. Okay, that's Black and White next and Y down. Next is Oras. Once again, I love Oras. I'm sorry. It's such a good remake. There's a lot added to it. Oh, but, okay. You know what, I'll move it down to A. I'll move it down to A. Because they do take out the Battlefront here, which is a huge thing with Emerald. Yeah, I think that's good so far. Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon are better than Ultra Sun and Moon, so you know what? S, I'm sorry. I don't think they're as good as Black and White, but I think they're better than X and Y. Because like, when I think about it, their story is just better. Like, people do shit on the story, but, like, as being too hand-holding and whatever, like, the story is better than all the other games, pretty much. Aside from, like, maybe Black 2 and Black 2 and White 2 and Black and White. But Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, on the other hand, technically they're still good, but the overall story was kind of worse. There is more content, which I appreciate, but the story is worse, and they only add a little bit of content. Like, they add a bit of content, but they take stuff out as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna put it in B. I think... Are they the worst game? They're not worse than Red and Blue, though. Yeah, I think I'd rather play Fire Red and Leaf Green. Especially coming out the year after, too. Like, they did a third version, but 2 versions. Like, come on, dude. Seriously? The 2 versions thing of Pokemon needs to fucking die. It needs to die. And that's why Legends Arceus I really like, and Legends ZA, because there's only 1 version each. But, anyway, next is Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. They're alright. They're obviously better. Like, okay, but, okay, in terms of what they add, I think the Master Trainers is really good. It's a really good post-game. So for that reason, I enjoyed it more than Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. But I don't think A is fair. I think Fire Red and Leaf Green are overall better game. Are they? Are they? Yeah, I think they're better, because you can also have, like, the Gen 2, 3, and 4 mods as well. Or Gen 2 and 3, not Gen 4. Yeah, I think that's right. This is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but, Sword and Shield are A. I don't know exactly where, but, you know what, fuck it. They're better than Fire Red and Leaf Green. I won't put them above Sinnoh, but, like, the story's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not great. It's not, like, the best story I've ever seen, but it's good. Like, I like to focus on characters that it actually has for once. There's a complaint that, like, it's all the characters that do stuff and you don't, but that's fine. Your protagonist is bland anyways. It doesn't really make sense for them to be the main person. Alright, next. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum? Or, no, sorry. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl? Fuck you. I think that's all I need to say with the F tier there. Like, they're terrible games. They're terrible games. To this day, they're the only games that, aside from the Gen 3 games, that I said earlier, that I have not bought. The Gen 3 games, though, the only reason I haven't bought them is because I don't have the hardware to play them. The Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I have no desire to play whatsoever. There's nothing new. Like, technically, there's the Grand Underground, but that's in exchange for all the Platinum content that they took out. Like, no, this sucks. It's terrible. I don't blame Ilka for it, because they had to develop it in a very short amount of time, and it was also that Legends Arceus, the best game in the fucking franchise, could release. But, still, that doesn't take away the fact that the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are ass. But yeah, Legends Arceus is the best game in the franchise. I don't even know if you can really debate that. Sure, the story isn't as good as Black and White, or Black and White 2, but it's open world actually done relatively well. It's not like Persona level or like fucking Zelda Breath of the Wild level, but it tries to be at least. And I respect Game Freak for doing something a little different. Alright, Scarlet and Violet. I guess I should mention the DLC for Sword and Shield 2. That kind of elevates it up. I really like the DLC method as opposed to having like Pokemon Gun or some shit, even though Gun would have been funny. Scarlet and Violet. This is tricky. I do appreciate some of the story elements, but I feel like I won't put it in D. Now, if you ask me my opinion on the game, like November of 2022 when it first came out, it'd be fucking F tier. But I've kind of come around on them a bit, just because of 2 reasons. One, for the story is pretty good. It's decent, but the other reason is that the story of the anime, which I know isn't related to the games that much, or like isn't the games, it's the anime. The anime does something different. I think the story of the anime is really good because it's actually a story, right? And it fills in the gaps that the games leave. Like, we're getting so much extra lore on Terapagos that the game doesn't give you whatsoever. It's just like, yo, look, here's Terapagos. That's it, motherfucker. You don't get anything. And the anime is actually giving us stuff. So that redeems it a bit for me. But overall, the games they're so lackluster. Like, there's so much bad shit in them too. Obviously, the performance, which everyone has beat to death. But then I think there's also the structure too. Like, people like having open world games, and there's nothing wrong with open world games. But like, I like, you know what I mean by this when I say that I feel like there's no, like, the story's good, but the overarching story isn't there. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like, how do I explain it? Aside from Arvin's story, like, I feel like Nemona's and Penny's, you just kind of you battle some people, and then you learn all the story at the end. Essentially, that's it. And then you have like your way home at the end, but it's not like drip fed out the game, and that makes a lot of the game actually pretty boring. And there's also just the issues with the actual open world as well. I think C tier is definitely fair, and I really hope ZA and Gen 10 are back to Legends Arceus standards. But yeah, this is my thoughts. Probably unpopular, but I don't really give a fuck.